So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K25 Next Gen. In today's video, we are back with another episode of our Curry era rebuild series, and today it's going to be the Portland Trail Blazers. I think back to some of these Trailblazers teams that were obviously led by Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum and really just think of what if, because clearly the backcourt is unbelievably, undeniably talented. Damian Lillard is at the peak of his powers. CJ McCollum is certainly a very viable option for a top 5 shooting guard in the league, and it just feels like the surrounding core was never going to be good enough to actually compete. Now, this team went 41-41 throughout the 2016-17 campaign. They did make the playoffs as an 8 seed and then got swept in round 1 by, Steph, KD, Clay, the Golden State Warriors. So our goal today is to obviously get Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum a little bit of help and hopefully win this team a championship. And as always, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. Always open to anything you guys want to see, and I appreciate any ideas that you guys may have. So excited for this one today. It is super fun using Dame in his prime. I am hoping that we can get him a championship that obviously to this day he is still looking for. So excited for it. Let's get into it. Okay, we find ourselves here at the start of the 2016-17 campaign. We're going to go ahead and talk about this Trailblazers roster in just a second. But before we do, as is always the case, unfortunately there is not, access to every single player that was actually on this Trailblazers team. So I have a list here. I went through, just the NBA stats for this team throughout the season. And unfortunately, we're missing some pretty important role players. Those guys include Allen Crabbe, Mo Harkless, Al-Farouq Aminu, and Myers Leonard. So, they're not superstars or anything like that, but they're certainly viable pieces to this Trailblazers team that, unfortunately, we cannot just snap our fingers and kind of compare them to. So let's get into it. Let's talk about this team and how everything kind of stands as of now. Of course, Damian Lillard, a 90 overall, 26 years old, certainly locked up on a long-term contract. He's the face of this franchise. My goal is to just build around him. We know how consistently good he's going to be. The point guard spot is certainly the last area that I'm worried about with this team. Obviously, one of the auto-generated kind of fill-in players, Mr. Gary Shays here, certainly going to be adjusting that bullshit contract that 2K thinks is a good idea to hang out to all these auto-generated guys. Now, CJ's only an 85. We obviously know he can score. There's a very, very low percentage chance that he'll be going anywhere throughout today's video. Now, Pat Connaughton's only 23 here. If that overall continues to develop, there's a very high likelihood he is in the rotation throughout the 3 years of this video. Chris Cooper, sure. The small forward spot is not my favorite. Evan Turner, I don't know if this is sad or funny or just really not even ironic, but I remember the time and where I was and what I was doing when Evan Turner left the Celtics to sign with the Trailblazers. Again, I don't know if that's sad, and it's just kind of an overview of I guess my life at that point in time, but he obviously upped with the Trailblazers for 4 years and $70 million. I couldn't blame the guy. It turned out to be not so great of a contract in Portland, but he is the one and only real option at this starting 3 that we have for now. And then you can pretty much just ignore everybody here. The power forward spot, gaping hole. Certainly going to be the first thing we look to figure out at some point in time. And then finally, the center position with Mason Plumlee. And Festus Ezeli certainly isn't bad if you are sitting here, I guess, wondering where Jusuf Nurkic is. He was a midseason trade from the Denver Nuggets. So, yeah, we have a lot of work to do, obviously. There is not a great amount of depth here just in terms of real players. And it is definitely going to be something we have to try to fix before we kick off year 1. I certainly don't love making the same trades that I've made in a lot of these Curry era rebuilds, and while Jose Calderon is a guy that I have picked up in these rebuilds before, he's unfortunately the only real option I could actually trade for right now, and we kind of need a point guard behind Damian Lillard. So, yep, Elliott, Cooper, second-round pick going to the Lakers for Calderon, who, again, 1 year kind of stopgap player, but again, at least he is a real player. And then again, unfortunately, it's just not going to be possible given the assets that this team currently has to actually acquire a real power forward. And so we're going to be signing 2 out of free agency. I don't love doing it, but you can blame 2K because I don't want to do this. I kind of have to do this. So Yi Jianlian is going to be coming in and likely starting for us. Then we're also going to be making a signing here with Carl Landry. So again, they're not my favorite options in the world, but at least they actually played in the NBA. And they are certainly upgrades over what we actually had with this team currently. So I think we might have 1 or 2 more trades, but ultimately there's not going to be any other major moves before we kick off year 1. Correction, we actually may have one more larger move coming. We are trading Mason Plumlee, who is one of the higher overall players on this team right now. We are sending him to Houston for Clint Capella. This is a deal that I think just makes some logical sense because we're not really giving up anything of value in terms of draft picks or young players. It is pretty much just a 1-for-1 swap Plumlee for Capella. The positive and the upside here is that Capella not only is 4 years younger, He's 1 overall higher and has a year of team control, where Plumlee is expiring and entering unrestricted free agency this offseason. So this deal kind of makes all the sense in the world for us. I think at this point in time, I would take Clint Capella anyways, just from a player standpoint perspective. So yeah, not really sure why Houston's willing to do this, but thank you very much. Correction, we have one more free agent signing. This is actually probably a record here in, year one. 3 free agents are being signed. I've spent 10 minutes trying to trade for an actual shooting guard or small forward, and I have been very unsuccessful given the bullshit CPU-generated players that this team currently employs. So, yeah, I'm not going to sit here and stress about it much longer. I genuinely want to make trades, and I think it's a little bit more challenging if I had to, but this garbage that we're working with here with these people, it's untradeable. And honestly, I'm not going to sit here and stress out about something that's probably not going to matter a lot in the end anyways. So either Crawford or Connaughton's going to move to the 3. It's not the end of the world. It's likely only going to be for 1 season. We're going to set the rotation. Something to note before we go ahead and kind of go over this rotation is that we actually have 3 first-round picks this year, and those must have been previously traded for in real life, because I know I certainly didn't acquire them. So we have our own. We have the Cleveland Cavaliers, which is not going to be valuable. They have LeBron and Kyrie, and they're going to win 68 games or something like that. And then we have the Memphis Grizzlies pick, who, again, probably not going to be anything crazy. It's top 5 protected, but it could be, maybe late teens, early 20s, something like that. So just something to note before we go ahead and talk about this rotation. Let's do that. Obviously, the backcourt is extremely talented with Dame and CJ here. I fully expect them both to be 25-plus point per game scorers. Turner will start at the 3. He is not going to be a long-term solution there, but he is what we have to work with here for year 1. We obviously signed Gian Leon out of free agency. Again, I've said it a million times. I don't love doing it, but we are left with pretty much no other options. And then obviously made the deal for Clint Capella. The bench unit will be led by Jordan Crawford, who we legitimately just signed out of free agency, going from no job in the NBA to 6th man. Pretty big jump there. Festus Ezeli, Pat Connaughton, Carl Landry, Jose Calderon. It's, again, not great, but at least we have real players and we have real depth now. And I'm not really sure what to expect. This was a 41-win team in real life, and let's see if we can do that here in 2K. I have good news and I have bad news. Which do you want first? I'll start out with the good news. This season is over. Very much happy about that. The bad news is we went 22-60. I didn't think we were going to be a contender. I did not think we were going to be bottom dwellers, and unfortunately that is the situation we find ourselves in. Steph Curry, 37 points a game is even crazier. I guess you can look at this 2 ways. It's insane. No doubt about that. It might be even crazier given the talent around him, but then again, it also could make it a little bit easier given the talent around him. I'm spending way too much time on a Steph Curry MVP. These are always the same in year 1. You guys probably all know that at this point. I said 68 wins for the Cavs. I was pretty damn close. I've been doing this for way too long. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the season that we obviously just, went through. It was not good. It was the 3rd worst record, tied for the 3rd worst record in the league. And at this point, I'm just hoping I get lucky in the draft lottery, because there's not a lot of positives to take away from this campaign here. I thought Dame and CJ would certainly both be around 25-plus points per game. Not quite the case, but they're both still pretty damn good. Capella, Crawford, Turner, Gian Leon. So our biggest goals going into this offseason are going to be addressing our starting forwards positions, both the 3 and the 4. No disrespect to Gian Leon or Evan Turner, but they're not going to be any sort of viable options if we actually want to, compete for a championship throughout this video. Wow, Cavs actually, I guess technically would be going back-to-back now, because they, obviously won the 2016 finals as well. So the season from hell is over. All of this BS, we can get rid of all these auto-generated, not real players, and we need to get a big name in here. There's no doubt about that. So the first thing that I am going to be worrying about is this right here, this draft lottery, which is obviously incredibly, incredibly important. We're currently projected the 3rd overall pick. I'm just hoping for a little something here. Awesome. We fall down to 4. It's not the end of the world. There's still going to be some pretty good players there. I'm just going to have to decide what I want to do. Do I want to move up? Do I want to go ahead, trade it away? I have no idea. Terry Stotts. That doesn't really look like Terry Stotts. I don't know. His ratings are pretty good. I don't think he deserves to keep his job, which, might lead me to firing him. But the other part of this you got to remember is we're the Portland Trailblazers. We're not exactly a big market team, and very much, unfortunately, 2K, understands that, and they only give us, if you look at that top kind of middle area, we have $4.69 million to spend on a new head coach, which is not going to get me Stauffer. It could get me Doc Rivers, I guess. Actually, it might get me Stauffer just because he has no offers. Fuck it. If I can, it's a risk worth taking. He's not going to accept that shit. There's no way. Yeah, this, I guess I'll offer Budenholzer as well, and then maybe, I guess, we'll just offer Terry Stotts as like a 3rd backup, I guess. Stauffer's still mulling. I could just sign Terry Stotts back. Is he going to accept it? Stauffer still what? Okay, thank God. Okay. Big waste of time. Let's approach the 2017 draft class. This is obviously Tatum, Mitchell, Adebayo, Kyle Kuzma in here as well. Immediately jumping out to me is one of the forwards, whether it's Kuzma, Tatum, Markkanen, I mean, maybe even a guy like John Collins, but that probably doesn't make the most sense. I think I have to get one of them. And in order to do that, I think I want to move up. So who has like the top 2 picks? That is going to tell me a lot right now. Draft lottery, it is the Suns and the Magic. Okay. I have to try to do something here because I think Jason Tatum would be really fun, but I think he's going to go number 1 overall, which, you know, doesn't surprise me. He's the best player from this draft class. I just don't know what else it's going to take, and I kind of want to try to keep at least one of those later picks because I think they could be valuable. I know we also just signed Carl Landry, and again, I'm not trying to just pepper this to the point where they accept it, but kind of have to do it. Can I get this done with seconds? No. All right, I'll give up another first. It's not my favorite thing in the world. Wow, they still don't accept that. Okay. Well, that's not great. Oh, baby. Am I out of contracts here? That's not going to happen. Okay. Who was the other? Who had number 2 overall? It was... Fuck. I already forget. It was the Suns. Thank you. All right. I'm just hoping Jason Tatum doesn't go number 1. Surprise, surprise. I think there's probably a way for me to get him. Let me just go find the Orlando Magic. I'm looking at the Celtics for some reason. They want our first next year, and they'll give me Austin Rivers. Not really what I'm looking to do. Could I get this done with, like, just seconds? They want our first in 2019. They'll give me Rivers. Fine. I don't want to give up more draft picks, but I can certainly flip some of these guys that we've obviously gone ahead and traded for and get some draft picks in return. All right, we got some pretty good names here. Derek White jumping out at me immediately. Luke Kennard, Luke Cornett also here. I think, you know, if I'm looking at who ends up being the best player out of this group, it's obviously Derek White, but I know right now here in 2K, he probably won't be. And Luke Kennard, I think, makes a lot of sense just as a shooter coming off the bench for us. So he's going to be my guy here. Obviously excited to have Tatum. You got Kennard here as well. Team player options, yes and no, for sure. Okay, I think we've done pretty good. Obviously, that small forward spot has now been, you know, assessed. We have obviously added a nice piece in Jason Tatum. That is only into his rookie season, but it's certainly a nice upgrade there nonetheless. Now we're going to turn our attention to the power forward position. I'll see you guys with the trade. Oh, fuck. I didn't mean to do that. I forgot our first round draft pick next year is really valuable. Well, we added Chris Middleton. You might be saying we needed a power forward. Well, I'm just going to slide Tatum up to the 4. He's going to go down 2 overalls, but it's not really the end of the world. So, yeah, we obviously added Chris Middleton, who's another guy that can score the basketball. Certainly going to be beneficial towards us. But, yeah, we are out of draft picks that are tradable at this point, which kind of makes me nervous. I'm not going to lie to you. So, we have the majority of this rotation intact. I think at this point, maybe moving off of Evan Turner's contract wouldn't be the worst idea in the world if we can somehow maybe recuperate a draft pick or 2. Thank you very much, Chicago. And then I'm just looking to sign a backup here behind Damian Lillard. So a guy like Michael Carter-Williams, who, you know, certainly isn't going to be a star. Of course, had a fantastic rookie season. But he's going to be a nice upgrade from what we had just a season ago. So I'm excited to have MCW here. We now have an actual 10-man rotation with real NBA players. And I'll see you guys at the start of year number 2. I have no doubt in my mind we're going to be a better team here in year 2, and that is kind of my belief for a couple reasons. First and foremost, obviously made some nice additions to this team. We are clearly better suited to win games than we were just a season ago. And then second is I traded away my draft pick, kind of accidentally. I didn't realize it was going to be so valuable, and obviously it was included in the Chris Middleton deal. So here's to hoping and praying that this season doesn't suck, because if it does, we are what we refer to in my world as royally fucked moving forward in this video. Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, Chris Middleton, Jason Tatum, and Clint Capella is your 1 through 5. Bench unit will be led by Pat Connaughton, Festus Ezeli, Gian Leon, Michael Carter-Williams, and then Luke Kennard. So I like this team a lot more than last year's. Obviously, new head coach as well with Mr. Mike Stauffer, and here's to hoping we can compete in a loaded Western Conference. Much better second season, 57-25, a respectable record, and certainly a playoff team. So I'm happy, all things considered. LeBron's your MVP. Lonzo Ball always seems to win Rookie of the Year, and it seems to always be with the Magic. Funny. Dwayne Wade, remember his time in Chicago? That was certainly something to remember. Giannis, your D point. Moutier, most improved, and Stephen Butler, 65 wins there in Toronto. Okay, let's take a full look at the standings. We are the 3 seed here in the Western Conference. We have the Minnesota Timberwolves in round 1, and I'm excited. You know, I don't necessarily think we're up there with like the Spurs and the Warriors in terms of contention, but we're definitely getting better. Chris Middleton, not exactly what I was expecting from you, my friend. I thought you would be, maybe a little closer to this kind of season right here, but it's fine. Capella, Gian Leon, Connaughton, Ezeli, Luke Kennard, Michael Carter-Williams. Capella, Lettuce, and Boers. Assist is going to be Dame. So we are taking on Minnesota here in round 1. Ricky Rubio, Levine, Wiggins, Karl-Anthony Towns, Dwight Howard. Interesting addition. All right, this is not a walk in the park. I think we do have the best player here with Damian Lillard, no doubt about that, and maybe it is a walk in the park. We sweep. Now moving on to the Warriors. They lost Steph Curry. They've replaced him with Rajon Rondo. It feels like they always lose Steph Curry in these rebuilds. I think did I lose Steph? No, I lost Kevin Durant when I did mine. Okay. Let's see what happens here in round 2. Kevin Durant's definitely the best player in this series. They are probably still a better team, and we end up forcing Game 6, forcing Game 7, losing Game 7. All right, that's some pretty good fight. Ultimately came up a little short. Did the Spurs just go back-to-back? Did they win it last year? Did LeBron and the Cavs win it last year? I have no idea, but nonetheless, we are entering our final offseason, and hopefully this is the one that we can kind of finally piece everything together at the right time. I think we've gotten to the point where we certainly have acquired enough talent, we have enough depth, and I'm just hoping everything goes well. So no lottery picks for us. It is going to be hanging on to Mike Stauffer approaching the 2018 draft. Just to confirm, we do not have any draft picks. We do not. All right, team player options here. Nobody. Capella and Connaughton will both be qualified, and we're not going to have any money to really go out and sign anybody, so let's just re-sign our guys for now. Kind of makes a lot of sense in my opinion. Festus Ezeli, also gone. Okay, is 2K just going to let me lose him for nothing? Because that would suck. I don't want to lose Festus Ezeli. Can I sign him to that? Okay, cool. Let's make some trades. Oh, wow, okay. We're bringing back an old friend in LaMarcus Aldridge. Chris Middleton was a little disappointing for me last year. I am not going to lie to you. This deal, adding LaMarcus Aldridge, while he is 33 years old and might see a little bit of regression, I think he's going to be a little bit of a better fit because it's also going to allow us to play Tatum as maybe his more natural position of the starting 3. And then, Aldridge, obviously. Would you consider him a legend in Portland? I think many people probably would. So I'm excited about that move. I think we got better with it. Obviously excited to see Tatum continue his progression as well. And again, I know Aldridge is 33 years old and will likely be around an 85 overall at the start of year 3, but I do think he is a better fit and an upgrade than Chris Middleton was. So I'm excited. I think other depth moves probably won't be changed. We're just looking for a new backup behind Damian Lillard, and the options are less than great, to be honest with you. Tony Parker, if you weren't 36, man, I totally would. Quinn Cook's here. It's not terrible. I think Sean Livingston, a little mid-range god action, would probably be the best option for us. So, all right, man, this is going to be the team entering the final season. Of course, we've yet to make a Western Conference Finals, but I think this is also the best team we've had so far. So I'll see you guys at the start of year 3. Here is to hoping that this team can get it done. By far the best surrounding core for Damian Lillard that we have given him so far. This team is coming together quite nicely. The starting 5, at least on paper, looks very, very solid. Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, Jason Tatum, LaMarcus Aldridge, and Clint Capella. I'm really excited for the possibilities here. I really am. The bench unit seeing some nice progression out of Connaughton. Still got Festus Ezeli, Gian Leon, Luke Kennard, and Sean Livingston rounding out the 10-man rotation. So we are deep. We have quality star talent, and here is to a championship season. Let's do it. Giannis Antetokounmpo has broken through, winning an MVP award as we wrap up year 3 here in Portland. We go 67-15, easily our best record yet, and the time is now, my friends. It really is. Trae Young is a Clipper. He's your Rookie of the Year. Zach Randolph still in Memphis as your 6th man. Draymond wins DPOY. Terry Rozier Most Improved. Mike Stauffer, our head honcho, Coach of the Year. All right, you can see we're a 1 seed. Of course, we have the fucking Warriors in round 1. I mean, I don't care if Steph Curry left. There's still KD, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. It is not an easy matchup. We do have the best record in the league, so we should not hypothetically be running from anybody. Just saying. Aldridge, I guess, kind of did similar-ish numbers to Middleton. I mean, a few more points, obviously some more rebounds, but yeah, that role was kind of weird outside of Dame and CJ. Rebounds was Capella, assists is going to be Dame. So, yep, as I mentioned, the Golden State Warriors, I mean, again, I know Steph Curry's not here, but I find it hard to believe that 99 overall Kevin Durant, probably a top 3 or 4 shooter in the history of the sport, and Draymond Green are somehow an 8 seed, but they are, and that is the situation we find ourselves in right now. Up 2-1 in the series, we go up 3-1. That was a big game. They force game 6. We win in 6. All right, Minnesota. This is the team we beat last year. Karl-Anthony Towns has obviously emerged into superstardom. Got Levine, Wiggins. They are pretty good. Have I done the Timberwolves in this area yet? If I haven't, I definitely want to soon, but I think I actually already did. Up 3-1, we close them out in 5. First time of this video, we are in the West Finals. I believe the Spurs have made the finals in back-to-back years. And shit, because this Oh boy, this is not fun. I'm not going to lie to you. Split the first 2 at home. Do win game 3 on the road. They tie it up at 2s. We go up 3-2. They force game 7. We win game 7. All right, and we're taking on the Boston Celtics here, who no longer have Isaiah Thomas. Really? No disrespect to this Celtics team, but how the hell are you here over like the Raptors or LeBron and the Cavs? You know what? That's fine by me, honestly. We quickly win the first 2 at home and game 3, and we sweep the Celtics and Damian Lillard. It's actually a pretty dreadful series. I'm not even going to lie to you, but he is your finals MVP. All right, man. This one was interesting. You know, we started it off with, you know, not a panic button move, but it was obviously a disaster in that year 1, just given the pretty much no depth we had, and of course made our way through it and got to the point where we were a championship team. So I'm happy for Dame, CJ, Aldridge, obviously guys that have not won championships yet, and I think not yet for Aldridge. He's never going to win one, unfortunately, but. Yep, that's it for me. I'm just rambling at this point. So let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.